Again, I request all participants, please turn on your video feeds. Mamba Lalita Devi Jagadambe Janani Namastasya 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 Namo Namaha Mamba Lalita Devi Tvamananda Sagari Namastasya 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 Namo Namaha Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Devi Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Namaste. So welcome everyone for the first day of this Approachable Divine Mother workshop. It will be an interactive session. I'm letting you know before only, so I will be requesting everyone to participate. The workshop is going to have totally 11 sessions. Each session, we are going to try to cover what we can say different steps one by one. No? Each of the, I think today we have our moderator, Priyanka ji. She is present. Namaste, Priyanka ji. She is also the administrator of the group.
Hari Om.
So, Hari Om. Namaste ji. So, would you like to just read out the points that are mentioned in the overview? This topic of approachable Divine Mother, how we are going to be approaching that. I think Madam has also shared it in the group.
Can I start?
Yeah. Yes, please. Ji.
So the living Veda, and we're going to be discussing on the symbolism in the Veda, Vedic Saraswati, the river and the mother, the three approaches, the powers of the four mothers, controlling the powers, and the way forward.
Yeah, there's a question mark after the controlling of the powers because we want to understand. After we get familiar, we can decide if we have to control, if we can control, or there is another way and the way forward. So, one by one, we will look at this. During this session, we will be looking at some texts as references. So, since it's an interactive session, I'll just mention the name of the text. I'm sure everybody must have heard of them. So, whatever you know about these texts, you can just share. Number one is the Veda. Anybody is, I think everybody must have heard of the Ved. That is the greatest treasure of Bharat. Can someone just shed some light about this, something about it? Yes, please. Anything about the Veda? There are four Vedas, it is said. So the first one, Rig Veda. Anything about the Rig Veda? Can someone tell me? Yes, please. Yes, sir. Raghunandan ji, namaskaram, sir. Yes, sir.
Namaskar ji. I think very limited knowledge on this. So,
I think everybody has limited knowledge on Rig Veda, sir. Yes, all of
Rig
us.
Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda are the four main Vedas, and they
Yes, sir.
say that it is the learned seers who heard it first time and could then bring it down to the
Yes,
mortals for us to understand. So it was not written anywhere in the initial stages, to my little understanding. And
absolutely.
And these are the sages who passed it down through, the Gurukulam system of learning,
Mhm.
where it was trained, younger students were trained in the Vedas with the syllabus being given importance, each syllabus, on how to pronounce, how to chant. And of course, there are different parts of the Veda. There's a Samhita of the Veda, and then there is another two parts of the Veda which I just forgot.
Aranyaka. Yes, yes.
Aranyakala. And so these things,
Upanishads also.
Upanishad is the last things which come
Last part.
there, last
Ji,
part
ji.
of the Vedas, and then
Ji, ji.
this is I mean, the Rig Veda takes the first one, and it is, I think, the hymns on uh, Varuna Devta and the fire. I presume these are the
Okay,
two,
ji. Two
and
Devata.
that's
I
it.
think Raghunandan has given a beautiful summary of what is the Rig Veda. So many say they are aparushe because they have been received in the sense through Shruti. Shruti is by hearing. Now, where did we hear? Where did the Vedic Rishis hear it? Any radio station they had tuned into. Which was this place? It was from a higher plane of consciousness. But where can we hear? When there's less noise, we can hear, isn't it? When there's a lot of noise, we cannot hear anything. So this quietude was something which was cultivated by these rishis. And in that quietude, they could receive the wisdom from the occult planes. It was something like a descent of this knowledge. A descent took place, and whatever they heard, they preserved it in the form of mantras. So mantras of the Rig Veda are something like what we call this mathematical expressions. Means I think everybody must have heard of algebraic expressions, isn't it? Where x, y, z equations are made. If you look at it superficially, you don't understand it. But somebody who has made the equation has understood why this equation has been made. And Raghunandanji has shared two devatas. One is Agni, and the other was Varuna. So, like that, there were several devatas that were invoked. Invoked by whom? Invoked by Vedic rishis. Which rishis? Belonging to only one family? No, several families. They were grouped into suktas. These Vedic mantras were called suktas. Many say don't use the word mantra. They were mantras also. They were actually what they heard and they were arranged. Now, is every family the same? I think we've seen people from so many families. All are different, isn't it? Like that, each of these Vedic families also were different. Each had a different style. They were rishis. And many say only the males can utter the Vedas. Is that true? Yes. We have lots of females also there who say, no, this is not right. But what is there in the Rig Veda? Why we are saying only rishis were present in the Vedas? Rishis are generally with beards, male, or they were rishikas also.
There were Rishikas.
There were rishikas also, isn't it? Rishikas in the Rig Veda. And this now two devas, I think it is Reshmaji, isn't it? Ji? Yes, the
Yes.
name is just showing, I think, a different.
Yeah,
You have
that's my
told
daughter
daughter's
Aditi.
name. All right, ji,
She
fine.
has.
Yes, yes. So now, Raghunandan ji has given us two devatas. One is Agni, another is Varuna. Like that, any other devatas anybody can recollect?
Vayu.
Vayu, all right, Vayu is one devata.
Surya.
Surya is another. Charulata ji has shared. Surya
Akash.
devata. Yes?
I don't know. It's Panchatattva, not. I don't know if there is any
Okay.
Devata.
Yeah.
Akash Devata.
No, Akash devata, I don't know
No,
if
no,
there is a
no.
sukta dedicated to Akash devata,
Yeah.
but in Akasha we have various,
Soma.
like Indra is there. Yes, Rachana ji?
Indra, yeah.
Soma.
Soma is there. Soma is the elixir, and then
Chandra.
Soma is
Chandra.
connected with the mind also. Yes.
Chandra. Yes.
Chandra.
Chandra.
Yes. 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 Okay. Poonam ji is saying. Is it Poonam ji? You were saying something? Okay, probably.
I said,
Yes. Yes.
I said Prajapati, sir.
हाँ, प्रजापति,
No,
ब्रह्मणस्पति.
I
Yes, yes, yes. We can. Prajapati is, I think, the name given to, but Brahmanispati is there definitely. We're all talking about only Devatas. What about Devis?
Lakshmi, Saraswati,
Saraswati is there. Lakshmi
Durga.
is not. Lakshmi is there. Saraswati probably. I mean, Saraswati is there. Lakshmi was later
Lakshmi
on.
later.
Later on.
Usha Devi.
Okay, Aditi ji has said Usha Devi. Usha Devi is the goddess of the new dawn. So there is Usha. So only for morning. There is also
Savitur.
Ratri. There is
Savitur.
also Ratri. Yes, Rachna ji. Yes.
Savitur.
Ha,
Sa-
Savitur. Yes, now we are looking at the Devis. If you see, Usha is there, Ila is there, Sarama is there, Saraswati is there, Bhaga is there. So, so many Devas, so many Devis. And what happens is, it becomes too much for people who are not aware of. They say, hey, this is out of too much. I can't study all of this. And this was exactly the problem that happened to the
अभी
Western
नहीं दे रही हूँ मैं
scholars.
तुझे
Yes, Vasundhara ji? No. All right, let's come. I didn't hear you. You were saying something? No. All right, let's continue. So, what happens is when the Western scholars they first looked at this, all it is like too confusing. So many devas, so many devis. What is the meaning? This for Surya also, Agni also. Sometimes gods were invoked alone. Sometimes gods are invoked in conjunction. Sometimes one god becomes another god. So what did they decide? They said we are, our ancient rishis were barbaric nature worshippers. As if suddenly the rishi has got up. The rishi has never seen Surya, has got very excited and composed the Saura Sukta. Or suddenly dawn. It is something like just nature worshippers. They have tried to what we can say very much dumb down the real meaning of the Veda. There was a fight between darkness and light. Very convenient for the divide and rule gang. They wanted to perfectly use something or the other to divide us. They said this fight is not between darkness and light. They said it is between dark skinned and white skinned people. The Rishis, what did they want? The Rishis, they wanted go. They wanted cows. That is why they are calling Devatas. Come, Indra, come slay this Dasyu, and so that I get more cows. So, is the Rishi going to open a dairy business? No, these are all Vairagis, Viragis. They're already not having any material attachment. So, all of this was symbolic, and the symbols were not fully known. So, we saw something about the Vedas. The first session would probably be about what is the symbolism which is there, and we will be relying heavily, or we can say 99% on what Sri Aurobindo has said. So, why, what, we'll look at that just a little bit later. Some of us who are not aware of who Sri Aurobindo is also, we will try to understand who something which we can share. I think many of us will also be aware. But before that, like Vedas, there were other texts, like Raghunandanji said that there's something called Upanishad, a part of the Veda, the last part of the Veda. It's called Vedanta. Again, Western scholars, Vedas were finished. That's how they interpreted it. Vedanta is because Vedas were finished, Vedanta came. It was not the finish. The high pedestal which was reached by the Vedas, that became the base for entering into the kingdom of Vedanta. So there were the Upanishads. We will be looking at a few Upanishadic references. Anybody can tell me something about the Upanishads? Yes, please. Anything. If you can name any or something, if anybody has read the Upanishads, any Upanishad if you have read, you can share something about it. Any
Upanishads
Upanishad?
mean to
Yes,
sit near the
Rachna ji?
feet.
Sorry?
Upanishads mean to sit near the feet of the Guru.
Okay, the literal meaning of the Upanishad. Okay, that is sitting near the feet of the Guru. What do we get by sitting near the feet of the Guru?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, and that was how it was started. Like we had universities, they have classrooms with all windows closed, air conditions on. They thought we'll have natural air conditioning under the tree. There was this dialogue, and there was a dialogue between Guru and Shishya. So Upanishads always had this dialogue. It was in different forms. So I think Rachnaji has given a good definition of Upanishad. But anybody knows the names of some Upanishads?
Mandukya,
Kenopanishad,
Yeah.
Kathopanishad,
Okay,
Kena Upanishad, Mandukya,
Mandukya
Kena,
Upanishad.
Mandukya.
something.
Mandukya is what we call
Gita is
the
also
Tatriya Upanishad is
Taittiriya,
Chandyoga,
Taittiriya.
Taittiriya Upanishad, Aitareya Upanishad. Yes.
Chandyoga,
Upanishad.
Huh?
quite a few.
Chandogya. Yeah, quite
Chandyoga,
a few. Yes, yes. Anybody knows how many Upanishads are there? Just
108. No,
108 is what Rachnaji has said. Were
something.
there exactly 108 or were there more than 108?
There were more than 108, but probably they survived, or
Yes, because they
few have
were,
been interpreted.
yeah, there were certain invaders who felt the way to destroy us is not just by taking our wealth, it is by attacking the source. So libraries were burnt. It is said that fire in Nalanda burnt for so many days. But they were again a little foolish, thinking our source of wisdom comes only from material, where the rishis got no connected. That place now India is again awakening. India is awaking to that high consciousness. Who knows, newer Upanishads will come down in the future. New Upanishads will be written. So some were lost, but the source was there, and even 108 Upanishads, they are quite a lot of Upanishads. What they are having is a great source. There's a great wisdom in it. If you look at, say, and it's all different in its unique style according to the nature of whom? Nature of the Guru, nature of the Shishya, nature of the Samvad. Sometimes we don't say at home, Ma, tell me a story or Papa, tell me a story. As a children, we tell that, isn't it? Because we like to learn through stories. So there was a Kathopanishad. It was a beautiful story. We'll have just a reference somewhere in our discussion of Kathopanishad. Then there is a beautiful, what we can say, poetic Upanishad. It's called the Isha Upanishad or the Isha Upanishad. Again, the name has come from the very first verse. The first verse is only many, as Sri Aurobindo has said, that many Upanishads, they are starting only reveals to us the nature. How is it going to go ahead? Like Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha Magrudah Kasya Svidhanam. Meaning that is what? Everything belongs to him. Whom? Which billionaire? It's the divine, living, non-living, everything in this world belongs to them or belongs to him. If you recognize the owner and joyously forsake, tena tyaktena bhunjita, means enjoy after recognizing the owner. Don't be a thief trying to take somebody else's wealth. That is a simple statement. But when you go deeper into this Upanishad, you get into a vast kingdom. So Upanishads, each was different. I think somebody talked about Kena Upanishad. It was like a riddle. Kenishitam. How did it begin? How did the begin? How did the consciousness fall? Where did that take place or why did that take place? So it explored that way. We saw Katha Upanishad. We saw Mandukya is a mystic Upanishad. This is the short, smallest Upanishad. Somebody says if you study the Mandukya, not somebody, the another Upanishad talks about this. The Muktika Upanishad says if you understand or realize the Mandukya Upanishad, Mukti is yours. Then why should we try to read so many shlokas? Everybody will just, print copies and make photocopies of Mandukya Upanishad. 12 shlokas sufficient for Mukti. But it is not so easy, no? There is something called reading. There is something called understanding. And realizing is next, and highest is experiencing. So that is the thing. We have to, what is why our workshop also is for that. Each of us is connected with the divine some way or the other. But the question is, we have to experience. And for that, we have to first approach. How do we approach is something that we are going to be trying to share with each other because I'm sure each of us has our own set of experiences. Let us, what we can say, collectively share. Why should we collectively share? That is there in the Veda also. The same thing is there. This is the wish aspiration of the Rigvedic rishis. All these devas when they were invoked, Agni, Mitra, Varuna, Bhaga, Ila, Saraswati, sometimes Mitra and Varuna, Indra and Agni, dual, or sometimes multiple devatas were invoked in each different mandala. It was different. What was the final verse of the Rigveda? Anybody? Last sukta means after invoking, generally, just we say as important, first is very important. That is where Rigveda begins with Agni Sukta. Why is Agni important? It is the fire. It's Sri Aurobindo has called it the flame of aspiration. Aspiration inside of us. We all aspire to rise, to grow, to learn. So that is important, definitely. But even the final, anybody knows about the final sukta of the Rigveda? Means after all powerful devatas have been invoked, what is the wish? Yes, Reshma ji. Yes, were you saying something? The final sukta, anybody? Yes, please. Samidhyuvase Vrishannagni. It's again starts with Agni, but then Sam Gachadvam, Sam Vadadvam. It talks about oneness. Oneness of what? Samano mantra samiti samani. Samano manasa chittamesham. Let us become one in consciousness. Meaning, after all devatas, what have they aspired for? Let us understand each other, let us become one. Because when we are one in consciousness, nobody can do anything wrong to us. Knowledge will grow, harmony will spread. So that is the aspiration. What is the meaning of oneness is also a big question sometimes. The communist will say immediately all of you must have same bank accounts, equal access to equal money. That's a different, there's one we can say a different ideologies. Capitalism says something else. But what is the highest oneness, the oneness of spirit? That is the divinity which is present inside. So that is something we will be touching on a little bit later in the last part. So initially we are going to be looking at what is the symbolism in the Veda. Why are we looking at symbolism in the Veda? Because we are going to look at one Devi from the Veda. That is the Devi Saraswati. Why are we looking at Saraswati? We will look at it when we come to that sukta. Today we are just going to look at the motive of concealment. Means why is it concealed? Truth should be there for everybody. Then why is the need? Or how is it concealed? Or is it really concealed or not? We are now simply adding something to add some extra mysticism because it has market value. Is that what people are doing now? Trying to, many youngsters are annoyed. I think, why are you trying to suddenly show ancient scriptures? How are they connected with today? So, this is something we will look at today. Today's session will be mostly about what is the concealment. And just one reason why we have chosen the Saraswati of the Rig Veda is because the powers of the Vedic devatas changed over time. Means the powers did not change, the perceptions of people. Indra, as beautifully identified by Sri Aurobindo as the Deva of what we call the illumined mind, is there in the Rig Veda. But when you go into the Puranas, you see Indra is busy doing a lot of things, interfering unnecessarily, wanting to engage in politics, keep power for himself. So this these are changes. If you see, Vishnu of the Rig Veda is like a bull, but Vishnu in the Puranas is different. Are they the same? Are they the different? Well, they are one. But Saraswati's function, Saraswati's role has remained the same. Same from Rig Veda, even in Puranas, everywhere else. There is no difference at all. Means it is not concealed at all. Everywhere else it's concealed, but in one place, if you see Saraswati, the veil is so thin that it is impossible to deny that significance of Saraswati. So that is why we are looking at one sukta of Saraswati. Then we are going to be looking at, there's a beautiful book written by Sri Aurobindo. It is a small one. It's called The Mother. I have met various Sanskrit scholars, including one Dr. Sampananda Mishra. He says if you want to study, he's an expert in Vedic knowledge. He says if you want to study Veda, if you want to study even Sri Aurobindo's book, Secret of the Veda, first read The Mother. That will become a primer which will allow you to understand, because in that, how to approach is being told in that book. And then the four powers of the mother. Four powers, starting from Maheshwari, next Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, and Mahasaraswati. So these will be looked one by one. We will have some illustrations as well, and there's some poetry that has been written, inspired by Sri Aurobindo's words. We will look at that, and we will again try to see, because as we can only in a workshop, what can we do is we can try to share our views, so that maybe one of us might actually get some. We can think he or she might find that, and then can share it with each other, whatever realization is got. But that will be the aspiration. So when we come to what is this concealment, uh, why do you think it is needed to conceal the truth? Be it in the Rig Veda, be it in the Upanishads.
What truth are you talking about?
What truth? The
Yes,
highest
like
truth. The highest truth that
okay,
is present, that is highest truth that is there in the Rig Veda or in the Upanishads. It is called Brahma Vidya, highest knowledge. Or even in Bhagavad Gita, they call it Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam. It is said to be the highest.
Can I?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You see, I don't think it is I don't think it's hidden or it's not available.
Okay.
I think that the idea is the student has, I mean, not the student, the seeker has to seek this information out. It is not
Means,
readily available to him.
ha.
See, like, let me put it the other way around, make it more simple.
Yeah.
Today, if you want to read a book on maths, on algebra, there are enough books available for you to read on maths. But if you want to get into algebra and into understanding some of the equations, you will have to go into it, seek it, and get it from the master. The textbook will not be able to give you that answer.
Yeah.
I mean, up
So,
to 12th standard, what you say it may happen, but when you go into the mystics of algebra, it's not going to happen, especially partial integration. I'm just diverging to you all, but
no. That is
that's where
perfectly
it
said.
is, you know.
So the
The
importance of a guru is what Raghunandanji is, means a guru to open the knowledge, to share the knowledge.
You have to
Otherwise,
go and
it will
pull
be
it from
hidden.
him. It's not
Means you have
hidden.
to, it is there in the open, but we are not able to see it, isn't
See,
it,
you
sir?
have to go and get it from him.
We have to get it from them. So, all right, that's a very interesting point. Yes, this knowledge is actually freely available, and yet we will look at one Upanishad. They talk about hidden aspect also in the mantra. If you look at the Isha Upanishad, it talks about something being hidden there. Hidden in, we will look at that in a moment. But this point about how without Guru, it is a Hindi phrase also. Guru bina jnana kahan se pao. Pick up a any Upanishad. You try to study an Upanishad because somebody has told you this will give you mukti. What will happen? Many times Upanishads go over the head. Because to understand that, it is said without Guru Diksha, you cannot enter into the kingdom of Brahma Vidya. Just like without visa, can you travel to a foreign country? You cannot. Does not mean that the country is not there or the route is not there. Everything is there. But you have not got that qualification to go there. That qualification, or what we call that adhikara is earned. Earned by what? By sadhana, by upasana, by a person's sincere efforts. And that is something only with that adhikar can actually the secrets be beautifully described. Now, if you see this, Sri Aurobindo has written a book, Secret of the Veda. He begins with the question, is there really a secret in the Veda? And when was this secret revealed? 100 years back. And yet today you give this book into the hands of everybody, and still I was in a conference where I was seeing people fighting because they claim to understand either better than what Sri Aurobindo has understood, or they were quickly claiming that this is what this is. I have got this. I have realized. Somebody even made actual diagrams of realization, just like it is like an important FAQ and it is going to give you marks when you reproduce that diagram somewhere else. But this question about secret, how did Sri Aurobindo receive that secret? Or how did he unveil? Or many people from the traditional school also question. They question the adhikar. How? How is it? Well, it was by anubhava. It is by experience. Sri Aurobindo himself had initially, he has himself said, I did not study the Vedas. Yet, the experience of all the gods and goddesses came to him. All of it came to him. He got that experience. Just like anybody, I think everybody must have heard of this book called Bhagavad Gita. Yes, something about this text.
So in this context, what we can say is just the way Arjuna also was actually a chosen one to reveal the knowledge
Hmm.
and the truth. So Sri Aurobindo was the chosen one
Yeah.
for the
Yes, Sri
Vedas.
Aurobindo actually, it is said, no, in the Alipur jail, his experiences came. Means somebody says he does not have command, you read his Sanskrit works. Sri Aurobindo has written in Sanskrit so many things. There's one Upanishad of Sri Aurobindo only, which the name Upanishad was given by the Ashram Sanskrit department, the Karyalaya. It is called Sri Aurobindo Upanishad.
Oh, is it?
No? Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. It is a kernel of the Vedanta of Sri Aurobindo. So how did he receive it? His father did not want him to be connected only to into ancient Indian secrets or truths or anything. He ensured that his education and everything happens in the West, only in UK, and he does not receive any of this, what we can call parampara. But that parampara is there for everybody who seeks. The aspiration
Just
must be there, and
just a
yes, yes,
question.
yes,
So
ji.
Sri Aurobindo Upanishad was taught by Sri Aurobindo, or is it that
Yes.
followers and disciples actually?
No, Sri Aurobindo wrote in Sanskrit.
Sri Aurobindo Upanishad was written by
Yeah.
Sri Aurobindo in Sanskrit.
Yeah, he did not give a title to it. He did not give a translation.
Oh,
Om ekameva dvitiyam brahma sadasadarupam sadasadatītam brahma satyam jagadapi satyam. It is very nice. Satyam na mithya. And that beautiful, it is just a Sanskrit aphorisms of Sri Aurobindo, which
okay, okay,
got the
okay.
name Sri Aurobindo Upanishad afterwards. If you study the Upanishads, you will understand why this title is also correct. Because the way it proceeds, no? You can see the movements in it. So anyway, coming back to our aspect of, say, these realizations, we have to become adhikaris. We have to become recipients of this knowledge. For that, there are certain requirements. What are those requirements? We will see. But unless those requirements are met, we will not receive it. So it will be in front of us, yet not available. Like some app having a very costly paywall. You can't use that app until you. Here, the payment is not in what we can say in some monetary aspect. It is a runa or a debt that you have to repay to the divine with sadhana. So we will now just look at, say, this motive of concealment. Why is it concealed? Sri Aurobindo talked about esoteric knowledge of the Veda. Means Veda also had a beautiful, you see the root words. There was one more thing which Sri Aurobindo had understood. What is the meaning of these root words also? Once you understand the root words, you have understood the entire thing. It's like you have got to the moola of the Sanskrit Shabda. Immediately you can find 100 meanings, 200 meanings if you want. Understanding the root and its context. So Sri Aurobindo beautifully using what they call the language of this science of philology, which also he received from Krishna only in the Alipur jail. So that he has described what we call a outer meaning and what is the inner meaning. Why was there dual meanings in the Rig Veda also? What was the reason for it? Some people immediately, when they find out this hidden meaning, they say there's no outer meaning at all. Karma kanda is useless. This is like this. This was one more problem which happened in that. Where then the traditionalists got into a fight. And what are we doing? We're fighting amongst ourselves. Instead, this has a value. This also has a value. But when you do it with a full realization, then you will reach that highest pedestal of consciousness that was arranged. Means if you see, like Sir said about Varuna Sukta, if you look at the Varuna Sukta, there is a Sukta where the Rishi says, I saw Varuna's car traveling in the sky. Now, what is the meaning of this? We go on the road, we see car on the road. Can we write a sukta about it? This brand company's car? It's different. It is different. This was an occult realization. Each of these rishis, they attained the realization. But there is something, no, half knowledge is dangerous. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
Why? Because you just don't understand the entire thing. So this high Brahma Vidya also, if gone to a mind which is not ready, it can lead to derailment. And that is why a system was placed. That is why that system was placed. So that there is no means those who are adhikaris receive it, use it. Meaning why these Vedic suktas were passed on were because the Vedic, we will look at one sukta, that is the Saraswati Sukta. That will be in the next session. But these suktas were like sopanas or ladders for anybody in the future to climb and reach the same realization which the rishis got. In the Upanishad, it is said, Hiranmayena, in the Isha Upanishad, Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapihi tam mukham tattvam pushanam apavruno satya dharmaya drishtayet. Means this truth is covered by a golden lid. Anybody has heard of this phrase, all that glitters is not gold? What is that? Anybody? What does that imply?
It, everything is not what it appears.
Yeah. Sometimes some things look very shiny and wonderful, but then it turns out to be it's not gold, it's fool's gold. It's not really the right thing that you are seeking. So something like that, the Isha Upanishad also talks about it. If you see the 15th verse of the Isha Upanishad, it says, Hiranmayena patrena. Truth's reality is veiled, is always veiled. How is it veiled? By a gleaming lid of gold. It lies in a vessel concealed. In a vessel, it is gold is generally the most purest of things, isn't it? Suvarna, it is the brilliant radiance is there in that gold. So we always think, what this is the truth. But even truth is covered by a golden lid. And what does that Vedic Rishi? He calls upon God's grace only. Tattvam pushanam apavruno satya dharmaya drishtayet. Meaning, oh Pushan, this cloak of what? This cloak which is veiling the truth. O nourisher of life, please unveil. May the light of the eternal truth verily reveal. May that eternal truth be revealed. Satya dharmaya drishtayet. Like that in the Upanishads also, if you see Agni is there in the first sukta also. Agni is what? If you look at it, it is the Agni Sukta is for people chant it while doing the Agnihotra Yagna, when they are offering. But when you do it properly, with understanding, then you become conscious. Brahmarpanam. In the Gita, it is a Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir Brahmagno Brahmana Hutam Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhinam. The Ahuti is also Brahma. What is pouring into Brahma? You are adding Brahma into Brahma. What is it? What is going on? People will get confused if you do not understand the higher truth. And that is what we all must actually try to understand. And first thing before we understand is at least recognize that there is a truth which is beyond what we at the moment or what we understand. That is the
Yes.
ground. Kena Upanishad also it talks about this only. Somebody who does not know is conscious or ready to know. Unless that person realizes this, the new knowledge, then higher knowledge will not come. Just like when you want to learn something new, you have to unlearn. You have to sometimes let go. Sometimes purva sanskaras have to be completely transcended. The slate must become clean. Then the divine will start writing his story, what he wishes to write. And that is exactly what this entire theme is there of concealment. In what we call the world is also a, we can say, truth in the world is also concealed. In the Gita, Krishna talks about a concealment. Anybody knows what is the term called for that concealment?
Guhyam.
Guhya, that is Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. I'm talking about the entire world is confused and they are moving like machines. Krishna says everybody is moving like a machine, driven by the divine. Can someone guess? There's a shloka in the Gita. People are confused and continuously in that flux of activity. They are just running around, but they are not understanding that somebody is driving them an instrument, and that somebody is little bit not the true divine also, a portion of the divine, which is called
Prakriti.
Maya.
Prak-
Yes, in Prakriti, there is Maya. Devi, Yesha, Gunamayi, that Maya is there. Gunamayir Maya means through the gunas of Rajas, Tamas, Sattva, it is working and a person is being driven by that. So people are confused. The truth is there, divine is there. Now, if you look at, we just saw one verse of the Isha Upanishad talking about, oh, hey, Pushan, break that lid. In the Sri Aurobindo Ashram, you will see there's a beautiful painting of mother breaking a door. A golden door is being broken by a hammer. And when that door is broken, then there is a flooding of light, the flooding of the true light of what is called a supramental consciousness. That was beautifully painting done by one sadhak on a occult experience of the Divine Mother. So that is something similar in this Upanishad also. And what happens after that realization, that is important. If we look at one more verse, which is the very next verse after the 15th one, it is very interesting. Why should we get this realization? Why should we get this understanding of what is there hidden? Because many people get irritated. What is all of this? If it's hidden, then there's nothing. I don't need to. Why should I go after it? Well, there is a great world of joy awaiting us. We are trapped. Brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra rudhani maya is what Krishna says. Everybody is caught and trapped in that illusion, so they don't realize and then they just move around like machines. All machines going through same cycles. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Just same cycle. Punarapi Janama, Punarapi Marana. Again and again. It just goes on in a cyclic manner. But here, next we can say, Ushan is again invoked. And who is invoking this? The rishis who have already understood some things, the rishis who are already, having the realization, they have achieved some realization, yet they are invoking because that humility is required, recognizing that I don't know, divine knows better than what I know. Let the divine teach me, I am willing to learn. So here, Pushan ne karshe yama surya prajapatya vyuha rashmin samuha तेजः यत्ते रूपं कल्याणतमं तत्ते पश्यामि योऽसावसौ पुरुषः सोऽहम् अस्मि. Means the final realization is Soham Asmi, but there's a big process towards Soham Asmi. Soham Asmi is what? Meaning Soham. Koham, who am I? I am that. What is that? That is the divine. So the realization that I too am divine comes in the end. So what is the process? It's not suddenly because I remember once I was sitting in a park. I thought, let's meditate upon the divine. I couldn't go to hill stations or Himalayas. So the highest place I could think of was the compound wall of the park. So I sat on it and started thinking on this. What is this? Soham Asmi. Security guard showed me what is Soham Asmi within 2 minutes. He came, shouted, got me down. And I was like, Katham Brahmasmi. What is this? Aham Brahmasmi, how? This man is pulling me down like this. He's treating me like filth. Where is this Brahma? But that Brahmasmi realization I cannot get. Like, chalo, I'm going to a hotel and ordering some food. It's like that. I want Aham Brahmasmi realization. It will come as an end. That direction must come. So this shloka itself, if you look at the meaning, the portion is called by the Rishi, O seer, O father of all life, O controller of all lives, O son of illumination. In your golden rays, every life thrives. Means Pushan means nourisher. So this divine, the quality, the nourishing quality of the divine is raising everyone. It is making everyone, what we can say, fulfilled. So that portion, you are that son of illumination. He asks for the power from the divine only. Is it wrong to ask for powers because Gita talks about nishkam karma? Isn't it? Nishkam karma means any work without any expectation of results, expectation of fulfillment of desires. That would be the exact word, the exact translation of nishkam karma, without any expectation of desire. So what is this right? Calling upon God to grant you some things.
Yeah, because we
Any-
have to do that
Huh?
work, right? To do the work, we need power,
Yeah,
element of God.
but
So
yes, and this Rishi is calling whom? Calling a divine whom he is considering a father. Asking your mother for help. Is it wrong?
no,
Never, isn't it?
never.
So to the divine. And what is it? Is it for personal gratification? No, it is for realization. It is for, as Krishna says, Loka Sangra. The strength is always available for everybody. You look at Rudram, after Rudram, there is something called Chamakam. Chamakam is what? शंच मे मयश्च मे प्रियंच मे नुकामश्च मे कामश्च मे सोमरसश्च मे भद्रं च मे श्रेयश्च मे यशश्च मे भगश्च मे द्रविणंच मे all material aspects, but why? In the end, you understand to fulfill the work of the divine. Many times people have felt money is bad, money is the root of all evil. So all spiritual people have become poor, all Asuri nature people have become rich. And what has happened? The very representation of the Divine Mother in the material world in the form of Lakshmi has gone into the wrong hands. So what has to, like everyone's saying, we have to become monks who sell our Ferraris. Can we do that? Why cannot we be one in one? Why cannot one person be a monk in the Ferrari? We have been told, become like Janaka Raja. Gita talks about Janaka, Raja Janaka. He was surrounded by wealth without even a percent or an infinitesimal desire for wealth. He utilized the wealth in a perfect manner for what? For creating a beautiful kingdom where everybody prospered. So, wealth is also required, strength is also required. So, it is nothing wrong in calling upon the divine if the rishis are able to, who are already high souls and who have reached high consciousness, if they are able to call upon the divine for this strength, I don't think we should feel should hesitate to call upon the divine for giving us strength. I don't think we cannot should if we don't ask our parents, whom are we going to ask? Isn't it? But for that, first God has to be approachable. We have to not have this bhaya. We should understand that we can approach the divine. So that is something we will be looking at because my Guruji Sri Madhusudan Damliji always talks about this only that we should be God loving. We can be God loving without being God fearing, isn't it? It's not a necessity that we have to fear God, no matter which Ugra Rupa is also standing. There is a very interesting story of Tenali Raman asking Ma Kali, see, I have a doubt after getting the darshana. You have so many heads. What if you get a nose infection? How will you manage? Now, what is that? Now, leaving aside, we're not meaning any disrespect, but we're talking about No fear. That is important. Rig Veda also talked about this. Now, this place also we can see in the Upanishads. Pushan Bhagwan is invoked. The god only is invoked. Hey, O nourisher of all life. What does the Rishi ask? He says, in the luster of the most resplendent forms, empower me to recognize and see the Purusha Supreme and realize that I too am thee. Meaning, give me the strength, give me the power to recognize the divinity in everything, all that is splendorous, all that is brilliant, all that is beautiful. Sant Tukaram had very beautifully said, Divyatvachi jethe prachiti tethe kara majhe zurati, meaning where I see divinity, there my hands go and I bow to that divinity. I don't feel any hesitation in bowing. So the first aspect is recognizing the divinity. And what happens after that? Then comes the final realization of Soham Asmi. Otherwise, it is not going to come directly. Remember what happened to me when I tried to sit on the park without any realization, suddenly trying to jump. There is a beautiful sukta between, we can say, Indra and Agastya Samvadaha in the Rig Veda only, where Agastya Rishi feels I have reached enough consciousness that I can bypass Indra. And then Indra comes in between and he says, you are now crossing me. You are going beyond me. It is not just a question, it's not an ego battle at all here. It is actually how human aspirations suddenly we try to go in a rush, but it has to happen in stages. And Indra comes in between to tell that, and then he recognizes. And Indra also calls him as comrade. Means that kinship. Why the approach, the main purpose of this workshop also is that we need to, maybe we may not develop kinship among ourselves. Okay, it will be ideal. It will be ideal if we can. The rishis will say, "Wow, the Vedic suktas will has been inherited." At least finally in Kali Yuga, we had to wait. But even if we don't develop kinship, here we develop kinship with the divine. Our relation, it is a very private relation. It is a very, very personal relation. Nobody will, you don't have to reveal to anybody also, but to yourself, it must be established properly. That is the entire purpose because that will transform life. That will make us available to the divine for whatever wish the divine wants. What does the divine want? I think only divine knows it best. We cannot really quickly analyze what that is. But that is very important. Look at the very first sukta of Rigveda also. There is one more line there. Sana piteva suna vegne supayano bhava sacha swana swastaye. Sana piteva, like a father can be approached by a son with ease. Oh Agni, let me approach you. You call a Western scholar, he will explain in conference how this is again a practice of self-immolation. This is not that. This approaching, it is an approach with love. Do we need permission to meet our father or a mother? I need to book an appointment. No, isn't it? We can go directly. We can feel. Some of my friends, their parents are no more, and yet they feel the presence. I can connect directly because that is the connection and that is what is being implied. That is what has to be established also. So this is the first thing if we want to actually understand that this concealment also, if we give it into we surrender to the divine. Because even you just look at all our texts in Sanatan Dharma, it is about this. The same, if you see Bhagavad Gita, what happens first is the Vibhuti Darshana. Krishna gives the Vibhuti Darshana. Everywhere in the world, where can you see? Where can you see the divine Krishna starts telling? Then comes the Vishwarupa Darshana. How is it possible? Well, this realization, if we do not see the divine in the world, where are we going to? How will we realize? Sri Aurobindo got it inside of a prison, 6 by 9 feet in Alipur jail. Solitary confinement, a dark prison. Nothing good, and there was a deathly noose hanging on top because they were just Britishers wanted to immediately hang him under some pretext or the other. Why will they not? Young Subhash Chandra Bose is also getting inspired by his fiery writings. Everybody, everywhere, the spiritual fervor to the freedom movement. Sri Aurobindo was, adding it, and they were not able to find some way to frame him. So finally, they felt they were successful. That time, even Sri Aurobindo, for a moment, was wondering what has happened now. How will I realize the purpose I am born for? Because everybody is born for a purpose which must be realized by that individual. There's no time which is early or there's no time which is late, but that purpose must be realized. And here Sri Aurobindo already had realized it much, much earlier. And so suddenly he felt, what is it? Has material nature really broken this plan? Has material nature now suddenly closed the doors? And that was where he got the experience of what? A universal divinity, the same thing which is mentioned in the Upanishad or in the Gita, Vasudevam Sarvamiti. He saw Vasudeva. Where? He saw the Vasudeva in the prison. All were not freedom fighters. They were murderers, they were swindlers, they were criminals also, petty criminals also. In them also he saw Vasudeva. He saw Vasudeva in the judge. He saw Vasudeva in the prosecution. He saw Vasudeva everywhere. And suddenly he realized that he is being protected. That coarse blanket that was given to him, it was a rug which was given to him as a blanket. It was so horrible. It was so harsh. But there he felt the embrace of Madhava. How? What? Well, this is the experience. And so, this aspect, if Sri Aurobindo can get this realization in such a difficult situation, and Sri Aurobindo himself has laid a, path for people to follow to get the realization. He simplified things for us because if somebody does not realize anything, then you are searching for a road. But when the road is also there, I think we all have a great, what we can say, a great opportunity because we have the goodwill of the divine only with us. What we have to do is we have to approach. So, this approachable divine mother, first part is about approaching. That was what we covered today. Tomorrow, I mean, the next session, that is day after tomorrow, we will be looking at one Vedic Sukta. And this approachability is something which we all have to focus upon. We may be working on different paths. It does not matter. Somebody may be in the Vama Marga, some may be in another Marga. Somebody will say, I am an agnostic. Fine. But start approaching. Even agnostics are okay, no? They're searching. Answer has not yet been got, but all places the path we have to seek. And that approachability is one factor if we can recognize. And why the approachable divine mother? Because mother is most special, mother is most closest, mother is easiest. Bahina Bai Chaudhary, that illiterate poetess of Maharashtra, the great one, she received from whom she would say Mazi Maya Suru Saraswati. She would not say Saraswati also. No, nobody came and questioned her. No, this is wrong pronunciation. This will make mother angry. I don't think mother gets angry if you pronounce. You call mama, you call mimmi, you call mom, you call mom. It doesn't make a difference at all. Why we have to only then somebody says, oh, my Aradhya is a male god. How can I see the god, male god as mother? Why we cannot see? Vithu Mauli. Vithala is called mother. Again, Mauli. Young Santa Jnaneshwar, at 21 age, he received what we call the highest realization. He went into state of samadhi. He was called mother by grandmothers also, who were very, very senior to him. How is that? Well, Mauli is that mother's roop, that mother's love is accessible to every single one of us. And probably that is why we have to, if we want to easily connect with the divine, look at the divine as a mother's rupa. And the mother will take care of everything, is what I have at least experienced in my life. My mother always takes care. Whenever I want something, I can ask her. I can be very, what we can say, non-orthodox also. Sometimes I remember I used to ask, I want this dish, I want that dish. And very ungratefully, I would eat without even complimenting how it is. But she did not care. She just cared about me going on the right path. But again, everybody thinks mother means she's only sweet. That is why we are going to study four powers of mother, out of which one is Mahakali also. So that is a very Ugra Rupa. So that one by one we will look at them in Sri Aurobindo's light. So with this, today's session is complete. If anybody has any queries, anything you wish to ask or share, any discussion, at the end, we will have a what we call summary of some points which we can share, we can take home. So before that, if anybody has any queries, you are welcome. I have not, I just asked my Guruji what to do. Should I read out? Then I only felt if I read out what I wrote, it will be very boring, not just for all of you, for me also. So we changed it a little bit, but he also, I got his permission. So we are going to have discussions. Whatever is to be read, it is already there in the literature, which is provided. I will share it again. Our Priyanka madam will share it afterwards again in the group for those who want to download. But we will cover it, but it will not be just verbatim reading. It will be interaction. That is what we will be following throughout this session of the workshops. So anybody has any query, anything you wish to ask, or if you wish to share or add, you are welcome. After which we'll look at the summary of today's session. Yes, anybody? No. All right, then in that case, could someone just summarize something that we saw? We can all, one person is not expected to summarize entirely. If you can, namaskars, brilliant, it will be wonderful. But maybe points everybody can try to just share. It will be something which we can remember as our take home points. Yes, anybody?
Okay, to begin with, we started with understanding of Vedas,
Ji.
the names of the Vedas, and
Okay, the names of the
how did they.
Vedas. Yes, Raghunandan ji
I mean, to
described
share
description also.
here, we usually, ours is a school context, so children keep asking, or even the colleagues keep asking. So what we usually tell is that, okay, what is the difference between Vedas, Upanishads, and then Puranas? It's like the change of lesson plan by the teachers, is what we usually
Is it change
explain to
of
the lesson plan by the teachers. The way
lesson
it is,
plan?
the way it is explained
Okay.
to the seekers,
Acha.
that
Okay.
change. So
Yeah.
probably crux of what we discussed was this.
Okay. Yes. So that was something we saw the base of Ved, Upanishad. All right. Anybody else? Yes, please. You would
The
like to add to what?
concealed truth
Ji.
in the Vedas, or the essence. What is the essence or the bindu? What what it is that is, we can't say finally achieved, but finally realized, but uh, that is the thing we progressively move towards. And there's um,
Yes. So the concealment, it is there in most of our scriptures. But as I think
like
Raghunandan ji shared, it is also visible. Probably we have to be ready to receive it.
maybe like the cross section of the shank, where
Okay.
we go on coming across the same truth again and again at different levels, until we finally reach. That
Ji.
is,
Yes, ji. That's a nice simile given there. Thank you, Rachna ji. Yes, anybody would like to add?
When you say concealment, you told that only Saraswati is there, which is
Ha.
safe everywhere, and she has a very thin will. Unlike
Absolutely. Ji. Yes, yes, ji.
then you also told us to read text, The Mother by Sri Aurobindo, to have
Ji.
more understanding. And another book you named was the
Secret
uh,
of the Veda.
yes, The Secret of Vedas, which can
Yes,
guide.
ji.
And then
Yes,
you
ma'am.
also emphasize that you need a guru, although everything is well there. But to get the gist of it, you cannot understand yourself. And you need to have some guiding force to show your light on that path. And that is a must. Without that, you may not be able to
Mm.
understand what actually the truth is.
Yes, ji. Yes, ji.
And
But this sometimes makes a question. If somebody does not have a guru, then how will that person find
guru will appear in some form or
some
the
form?
whether
Can we consider our Aradhya as our guru till then?
yes, that can
Yes,
also
isn't
be
it?
there. So in any form it can appear, maybe
Yeah.
some line, some text, some message.
Ha,
Anything
ha.
you are,
Yeah.
that is what I believe.
Absolutely. That is a perfectly true realization which Maji has shared, Dr. Poonamji. So, yes, Guru is what we can say Tattva, no? And it will be present for anybody who wants to hear it. Yes, Ji. Yes, please.
Yes.
Anybody would like to
I have
add?
a question that you said we'll be talking about symbols, and I could not get anything during today's
The
uh,
symbolisms. Yes, that will be looked at when the Saraswati part, no? The symbolism is there. That's Sukta
that.
because
Okay.
we will, there's so much symbolism is there in each of the sukta. Means if I will share a book of Rhythm of Veda, know Your Devas, which is slightly covering, it's a primer only I have written, but on that you will see some 11 suktas about from the Rig Veda and something about symbolism can be seen in that book. I will just try to get it and share it. I think I'll find it and probably Priyanka ji, madam will be able to share it. So yes. So
Thank you.
yes, thank you, Ji. So the Saraswati's, there's some beautiful symbolism. We will be looking at it, how it is connected with some Greek symbolisms also. I think everybody knows of this Pegasus, isn't it? The winged horse. So yeah, its connection. How is it connected? We have some. Our foundation has made some nice illustrations, which we will look at also. That when we look at it on the next session.
You
So
shared about
yes,
the
and
last
then
sukta, the final sukta of the Rig Veda.
yeah. Yes, yes, see, the final
And
sukta. That it is a dream of the rishis. I mean, after invoking all the devatas, they said, may we agree, may we live happily in joyous communion. Samano mantra samiti samani. Let us experience that joy. Imagine if we experience happiness, oneness, what will happen in our house? Our house board, name board will change to Vrindavan, no? Immediately. Because we will experience that ananda where everybody is agreeing with each other in spirit. That does not mean we will wear same clothes or same talk or everything. In that, what we call harmony, that is also the power of Goddess Lakshmi, maintenance of harmonies. That will be covered a little bit later when we go into Mahalakshmi's powers. That is actually the aspiration as well. Rishis also felt that after all of these devas, let us agree, let us all agree, and let us live, let us prosper together. So yes, that was one more point. Ji. Anything else? After which
about
always we conclude.
the
Yes,
Yes.
Ji?
Maya, which is one of the main
Yes. So
shlokas
we
in the
are
Gita.
yes. Maya is something. It's a wheel, which this wheel has to be shred. This wheel has to be, you know, turned to realize the divine. How can we do it? Gita also talks about it. Maya metam tarantite. You have to, when you break through that wheel, you will go to Krishna or you will realize the divinity. And who is going to help you? It is the divine only. But you will have to understand first that there is a wheel. If you don't understand, it is like somebody in a prison who is getting free food delivery, is getting Wi-Fi. If you see youngsters, you put them inside of a prison, give them Wi-Fi, give them food, whatever they want. That is it. You keep the
Fine.
door open, you don't lock the door, lock the prison also. They will spend their entire lifetime there because they will be happy, thinking that is freedom. But if you come and tell them, this is the door, I'm going to open it and I'm going to turn off this Wi-Fi, they will attack you. Don't you dare free me. I am free. I want to be in this prison. So this is Maya. This is happening in many people, like in many places, to all of us. We cannot say somebody is trapped and somebody is not. Narada did that mistake, thinking I am close to the divine, I am free from Maya, and next moment he fell flat on his face, recognizing how he is trapped in Maya. So Maya is there. So we want to get free from this illusion. We want to realize what is the highest truth. For that, we have to go to the divine, and also we have to recognize the divinity in the world. If we don't recognize the divinity, we start hating the divine everywhere. We will start creating divide in people. We will not receive that truth. So Ham Asmi, before that, Vasudevam Sarvamiti is also required. So I think this is about it. We are ready to enter into what is a Vedic Sukta. And we will be looking at one sukta towards of Ma Saraswati. That is that I think it will be shared in the group as well. So with this, I think we conclude. I will conclude with the Shanti mantra. Namaste. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishna Bande Jagat Guru. Hari Om. Namaste. Let us meet
Hari Om.
again. Namaste ji. Namaste. We'll meet you again day after tomorrow. This recording will be shared by Priyanka madam afterwards. Namaste ji. Thank you. Yeah.
Hari
Thank
Om.
you. I conclude the session.